Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Virgo energy, and like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be what people who harness high vibe Virgo energy are doing in their life and what they're dealing with. And people who harness high vibe Virgo energy are people who put in the work and effort to gain insight and understanding about themselves, about the world around them, and they take action in their life, investing in loving themselves, investing in loving, and having hope and faith and belief in their dreams. And they've seen the truth. They've seen the truth about some of their own fears, their own insecurities, their own self limiting beliefs, selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, materialistic, whatever people in their life. And they're no longer an illusion about it because they've seen the truth and they invested the time, energy, and effort to see the truth. And the truth sets us free. And some other people in the world, doesn't even have to be people they know, haven't done that same work that they have. And throughout our life, we have layers of our fear and our insecurities and our self-limiting beliefs to shed. And some people, though, don't ever do that work to, work through their thoughts, work through their emotions. Some people don't want to see the truth. Some people are selfish and greedy and prideful and egotistical and manipulative, and they don't want to see the truth about themselves. Other people are in their shadow because they have other people in their life who are trying to manipulate and control them and play on their fear and their insecurity, and they don't see the truth about those people. The truth sets us free. High vibe Virgos do the work to see the truth. And some other people maybe just haven't learned some of the lessons that some other people in the world have learned. And high vibe Virgo isn't giving up on their dreams. Another aspect, we can all harness high vibe Virgo, more worldly Virgo nature, or more shadowy Virgo. Some people are just still caught up in the illusion of the world. They think that if I have the money and the status and the image and the power, I'll be happy. I'll have it all. And they haven't learned that, if you're not building your life and being in relationships and living your life from a foundation of love is probably not going to turn out the way you think it is, and they haven't learned that lesson yet. So anyway, you'll have to listen to your intuition about the people in your life and who's, you all probably have people moving forward with you, just in general, people in the world. Other people have learned the same lessons you've learned. You also might have some friends, some neighbors, some children, siblings, parents, co-workers in life who view life the same way you do. And they don't live from their shadow nature. They're not letting their past pain and heartbreak, their fears and their insecurities dictate the decisions they make in life, or their lust or their greed or their more immature, indulgent nature. In the top row, we start out with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. That talks about, the Three of Pentacles, for some, it could particularly be a Capricorn, or you let go of working together at a job, in a relationship, something. The Three of Pentacles is where you are working together with other people. It can be that. And if you were working together with someone in a foundation, you've let go of that foundation. Or if you had been more aligned with your more worldly nature, because Three of Pentacles being Capricorn energy can represent our worldly nature, and if you are operating more from your Capricorn energy than your Virgo energy, you are not doing that anymore. Then we have the Ace of Swords, the Judgment card, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the whole reason for this reading coming out for you is the Page of Cups. It's the reason why this reading came out, and it's also the end conclusion of this reading. You could have quit working with some people because you saw the truth. There could have been people in your life, in your Page of Cups energy, that you wanted to work with, but their foundation is upside down. Maybe they could just look at life from a completely different perspective. They might not harness high vibe Capricorn energy. Shadowy Capricorn energy is represented by the devil, which can be people who are in shadow. they don't work well together with others because they have a lot of fear or insecurity or are really emotionally defensive to being hurt, or they're selfish and greedy and self-centered or materialistic or immature or whatever. You previously had been gotten in a relationship with someone, and you realized you needed to let that foundation go, because part of it could have been it was kind of turning your foundation upside down. And you did the work within yourself to see the truth. And you realized you needed to hold yourself accountable for your actions, and other people needed to be held accountable for their actions in the judgment card. There are consequences to our actions. And if you were investing emotionally in someone who wasn't putting in work and effort to be truthful and honest and hold themselves accountable for their actions, you realized that you needed to stand up for yourself in the Knight of Swords and protect your own foundation. And from being in that relationship, I think the whole reason why we can come into contact with all these different people in the world is to get clear about what our truth is versus what other people's truth is. Because we can all have illusions about life and our dreams and how we view relationships, and everybody else has their own ideas about how they view relationships and what their dreams are. And we get in a relationship with people to realize, what is my truth versus what is your truth? Are we on the same page or are we not? And you could have spoken your truth, and if other people weren't willing to be held accountable for their actions, well, then you defended your foundation and said, I have learned lessons from this foundation, from this relationship, and I am holding back from you because I need to protect my foundation and the things that I want to put work and effort towards in my dream that I have. And if you're not willing to speak your truth and be held accountable for your actions and hold back from maybe your more other people in your life, your shadowy nature, whatever, then we're not on the same page. And I look at the Page of Cups as like wishing people peace, because the Four of Pentacles can be people who aren't willing to let go of an old foundation, either other people in their life that they're not willing to like detach from and be more independent from, or they have a way of being in their life that is kind of selfish or greedy, or where they just don't really open up. They don't let maybe their more emotionally vulnerable nature come out in the world to play because it could get hurt, you know? And you spoke your truth that I'm being in my pure innocent nature of love and hope and faith and belief. And you seem to be holding back from being in that same energy with me. And if that's not your truth, you're not ready to live your life that way, you never planned to live your life that way, then we have a different dream. And I will let you go live your life whatever way you want to live your life. But you could view them, some people never emotionally like grow and mature themselves. They don't do the work within their own foundation to see the truth. They may never hold themselves accountable. They may always be defensive and cling to this way of being, which is kind of indulging their more emotionally immature nature. And it's not to connect in with their more hopeful, believing nature and love. And it's like we hold on to different foundations as our like core foundation that we build from. And you might have a lot of work to do within your foundation that you're not doing. Because some people, we've all been there. you know, we can all kind of be emotionally immature and we're looking for other people to make us feel better. Aren't you supposed to love me? I'm not supposed to have to love and mature myself. Don't I just go find other people in the world who will love me, kind of like being a child? I'm looking for other people to be like a parent to me. I shouldn't have to grow and mature myself and learn how to be my own best mother, father, coach voice in my own head. Aren't you supposed to do that job? And you're like, no, we're supposed to love and believe in ourselves, to hold ourselves accountable for our actions, to stand up and protect our own foundation to free ourselves, to put in the work and effort out of love to free ourselves from our fears and insecurities, because otherwise you're looking to other people. Well, if you love me, that'll free me from my fears and insecurities. Oh, well, then I'll get rid of my self-limiting beliefs. Oh, then I won't be defensive anymore. But the thing is, if they're not doing that work within themselves to deal with their own issues and turn their own foundation upright to free themselves, it's like your job to free them. And we can't make like other people love themselves. We can't make other people get over their past pain and heartbreak. They have to do that work within themselves. And they have to be willing to work together cooperatively with other people to be in just and fair and balanced and loving relationships. And they have to see the truth that they have to hold themselves accountable. They can't keep holding back from being loving and expect to be in loving relationships. They can't expect to be selfish and greedy and emotionally immature and be in relationships with loving, balanced people. Eventually, the loving, balanced people are going to want to be in an equally balanced relationship, you know? And some people are like, no, I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to get hurt. You're just supposed to love me the way I am, like a mother or a parent would, right? You're supposed to keep indulging me, not growing and maturing myself, and me clinging to my old ways of being because of my fear or my insecurity or not wanting to put in work and effort to free myself, you know? And it's like, if we keep indulging people in that energy, they have no incentive to grow and mature themselves because people keep enabling them. And some people, that's their dream relationship. I don't want to have to do the work. I don't want to have to put in work and effort to see the truth. I don't want to have to be held accountable for my actions. I want to be emotionally immature. I want to be selfish and greedy and maybe manipulative and prideful and egotistical. That's my dream relationship. I just need to find someone who's going to indulge me being that way. And you said, not me. I wish you peace. But I have a dream and I have to hold myself accountable for my actions. And if I keep indulging you in your poor behavior, I'm going to be living in a shadowy relationship that isn't based on love and justice and fairness and character and integrity. And that is what my inner child of hope and faith and belief deserves. And I'm not willing to give up my dreams for you, even though I might love you and care for you. I'm going to hold you accountable for your actions. If you're not choosing to hold on and operate from a foundation of love, then you're clinging to a different foundation than I am. And I'm going to defend my foundation of protecting myself emotionally. I'm not going to be my vulnerable, emotionally available, loving, nurturing person to someone who's not doing the same. So let's go look at the shadowy energy. We have people whose dream is maybe to look like a shining star in the world. They could be more motivated. Some of them, with the Four of Pentacles here and the Five of Swords, they could be people who are really more motivated by money and materialism and status and image. And they really want to look like a shining star in the world. And if they had people and things in their life and careers that they could pursue that they would really love, but they just don't know if that would make them look like a shining star in the world, would it give them the money, would it give them the status, would it give them the image, then they're not going to go do those things. They're not going to listen to their more hopeful, believing nature and listen to their intuition. They could be people who are more aligned with living more from their mind than their heart and more aligned with their more worldly nature. I have to work with the things of the world. I don't have hope and faith and belief that I can manifest my dreams into reality or trust my intuition or trust that the divine works with all of us to manifest our dreams into reality. I have mental conflict about seeing life from a higher perspective. I maybe lack hope and faith and belief in myself. I might lack hope and faith and belief that I can heal, that other people heal. I might lack hope and faith and belief in love. And some people decided I'm going to live completely more from my mind than my heart in the Ten of Swords. I don't want to do love. I can get hurt doing that. And so but people who do live more from their mind than their heart also might become people who no longer want to listen to their intuition, sadly, because they listened to their intuition before and a relationship didn't work out and they thought a dream was going to come into reality with people in their life. And because that dream didn't come into reality and it caused them a lot of mental conflict, they've just decided, I'm not listening to my intuition anymore. I think we've probably all gone through a phase in our life where we've told our friends, you have to help me pick out who I'm going to go out with because my picker is wrong. But really, as you live more life, the whole thing is your picker wasn't wrong. We had lessons to learn from people in our life, and we had lessons to learn. Are we going, the world's a tough place. We have a dualistic nature. We have our more loving, intuitive nature. We also have our more shadowy, fearful, and insecure and unloving nature. And we deal with other people in the world that are battling that within themselves also. And sometimes we come across people who, they could have gotten in relationships with people who kind of were consumed with themselves. They had a lot of mental conflict from detaching from their old ways of being and listening to their intuition to guide them to love and believe in themselves, to be loving and warm to these people, and could have been hiding the fact that they have issues from their past that they don't deal with. So then we have this card not showing itself, which is the Seven of Cups. Some people have mental conflict about loving and believing in themselves, being more vulnerable in the world, being loving and giving, because those people had been, the cycle continues. If we've all been in relationships with people where things didn't go the way we wanted, some people atrociously so. But are we willing to let people who hadn't learned how to be loving and giving and warm, people who hadn't overcome their own inner battle, who maybe also had inner conflict about believing in themselves and believing in their dreams, that they quit listening to their intuition, they quit being in life-giving energy and loving themselves and believing in themselves, who maybe quit working together with other people from a deep emotional foundation and it emotionally confused us? Are we going to... Oh, that's the Eight of Cups. Are we going to... we just got to see the truth. Everybody's where they're at. And the difference between when we get out of more low vibe energy and get into more high vibe energy is when we see the truth that some people we could have dealt with in our life that we wanted to have move forward with us to bring a dream into reality, because the Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups to go towards the Nine of Cups, wanting wish fulfillment. We all could have worked with people in our life that we wanted a dream to come into reality with. But the person we wanted to have a dream come into reality with, if that's our parents, if that's a friend group, if that's a relationship, a work, whatever, the other people could have had a lot of mental conflict about having to put an end to their own illusions or emotional confusion that they had in order to move forward with us, to listen to their intuition, to love and believe in themselves so they can be loving with us, and quit repeating some patterns of ways of being. You hear a lot about in tarot about breaking generational patterns, and sometimes those generational patterns are being egotistical, being competitive, wanting to win at all costs. I have to be in control of everything. I have to be the center of attention. Or I have addictions. They have addictions. Nobody's going to break their addictions, And sadly, some people dealt with people that they wish had moved forward and brought a dream into reality with them, and it didn't work out and turn out the way they wanted. So now, instead of loving and believing in themselves and reconciling themselves with the past, they've just decided, I'm going to hide the fact that I operate more from pride and ego now, that I'm emotionally defensive. And some people went the full spectrum, of like narcissism and egotism. It's going to be all about me. I am no longer. And then there's just some people in the world who are naturally born narcissists, who have always stayed really self-centered. They keep investing in their more emotionally self-centered nature, and they haven't grown up. And they think they are the star. Everybody, like a child, I'm supposed to be the center of attention, like when I was 5. I have mental conflict about putting an end to my illusions. Secretly, I'm very prideful and egotistical, and I like to be the center of attention. And I really don't like to work together with people from a deep emotional level, because then it's not about me. I'd have to give to them, and some people are very narcissistic. So, but others of you could have dealt with someone who thinks they're like a shining star in the world, that people should want to be in a relationship with them. And if you thought this person needs to be held accountable for their actions, that they have some growing up to do, they could have had a problem with that. It's like, I think I can find other people to be in a relationship with me. And if you're not willing to indulge me in my ego, I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. 10 of Swords, Was I not showing you that I'm kind of prideful and egotistical? I could be very full of myself. And I wasn't showing you that. It might be something, it could be a pattern I repeat over and over and over. But people who are kind of selfish and self-centered, they look to go get in relationships with other people who don't know the truth of them. So they can keep repeating this pattern of way of being in a relationship. And they have no intention, some of them, of ever walking away. Some of them, this is how they view the world. This is how they like to live. I'm the center of attention. I want to win at all costs. It's all about me. I'm not going to get hurt again. I want to be in relationships. I'll create the illusion that I'm a high vibe Virgo. I'll create the illusion that, oh no, I'm loving. My foundation, isn't prideful and egotistical and materialistic and self-centered. Oh no. But when it comes down to where they have to be held accountable for their actions and really invest in letting go of the past and growing and maturing themselves and being more authentic and vulnerable and loving, that can be when the relationship ends. Because so long as you didn't know the truth of who they were, and you they seem like a dream come true, but when it got to be when you could have seen the truth, that they seem to have some mental conflict about letting go of either being emotionally defensive or living from their ego or being full of themselves, and start to trust their intuition and believe in love and trust other people and learn to love themselves and believe in themselves. That could have been when the relationship ended and they became defensive because they hold back from love because they could get hurt doing that. They don't let their more emotionally vulnerable nature and authentic nature come out to play in the world. They hide their more authentic nature because the sun in high vibe Leo, it would be willing to be authentic in the world, to let your more vulnerable nature out in the world to play. Loving yourself, believing in yourself, willing to be in open, honest, loving, authentic relationships, listening more to your intuition to guide you than making decisions and letting your fear and your insecurity or your past pain and heartbreak run your life. And for some, some people were just hiding that they're prideful and egotistical. They really didn't want to be in a deep, meaningful relationship. It was just to kind of indulge in a relationship. And as long as it worked out and you were in illusion about who they were and you kept buying into the illusion of who they were, you could have kept staying in a relationship with them. It's just that they backstab and betrayed people in a relationship because it's really just about them. And if you do want them to grow and mature themselves, it's like, I don't have any growing and maturing to do. I live in fantasy land about relationships. I'm sure I'll find someone else to get in a relationship with me. So let's go ask. There could be some people in the world who see that you have detached from an old foundation, that you're holding back from some people in your life that could be fearful of love, are egotistical, are self centered. Of course, they don't want the world to know that they're self centered and prideful and egotistical. They also try to hide from the world that they prefer to be in more emotionally shallow relation, or they like to be more emotionally shallow. They can indulge sexually as much as they want in a relationship, but they don't want to do deep, meaningful relationships. They like to do more superficial relationships because they do not, they have illusions about themselves or about the world or their self-importance or something, or in their emotions that they don't want to deal with. And so they kind of live in fantasy land. But as you're moving forward in life, there could be other people that see that you're moving forward. Some of those people could have been in relationships with people similar to like people you were in relationships, that by worldly standards it could have looked great, it could have looked really successful, but they could also feel like the relationship they're in is kind of not a deep emotional connection, that maybe some of the people they got into relationships with are kind of prideful and egotistical, or being in a relationship with them out of pride or ego or image and status, and it's not really love. And those people could also be deciding to let go of staying in a foundation where it is more of an illusion, where other people are not who they thought they were. And some of those people, you could be inspiring some people to love and believe in themselves and their dreams and to stand up for themselves and kind of protect their more emotionally vulnerable, authentic nature from people who are prideful, egotistical, selfish, greedy. Sometimes people who are in shadowy energy, they don't want to do the relationship the way you want to do it. They don't want to treat you the way that you treat them. They like to be the center of attention. They like other people to put aside their pride and ego, but not them. They're supposed to be the star of the show. And when they get in relationships with people who, could have come into contact with them because, we can all be attracted to people who look very successful, attractive, whatever the star can mean. People who seem to either look successful, shine bright in the world, whatever. We get attracted to being in relationships with them because we have some lessons to learn. Are we willing to stay in relationship with people because it does look very successful by worldly standards? Are we willing to stay in relationships with people because we're attracted to them, we have a lot of lust or attraction to them, or we find them very attractive? Are we kind of in our pride and ego? Is there a lot of stability and security and money there? Are we willing to stay in it for that? Some of those people are hoping so. Some of those people are hoping that if they get in relationships with other people, that those people will give up their dream of being in deep emotional relationships, will give up on loving and believing in themselves to be more emotionally independent from people like this, that these people can get them to stay in a relationship with them, even though it causes them mental conflict because they see the truth, that these people are kind of maybe superficial and shallow, maybe self-centered, maybe all about themselves, but they're hoping that you will not listen to your intuition and love and believe in yourself and quit working together with this person and moving forward with them. So because they don't want to grow and mature and change, they don't want to let go of their old ways of being. When you start to heal from your self-limiting beliefs, when you start to love and believe in yourself, this person can have a lot of mental conflict about that, because that means you're going to want to move forward differently in life because you don't have the same fears, insecurity, and self-limiting beliefs that you had before. And then they do things to try to sabotage you and confuse you from making a decision to invest in loving and believing in yourself. And they try to do things secretly to get you in your pride and ego, like quit being emotionally connected with you, emotionally distancing themselves with you, being kind of prideful and competitive and doing things that are hurtful and unkind. And they're hoping it'll stop you from ending the relationship, and that if you had thought of moving away and loving and believing in yourself, that you'll hold back from loving and believing in yourself and investing in loving and believing in yourself. And because this person has done shadowy things and kind of backstabbed and betrayed you, that you'll hide from getting like the justice you deserve, being in more authentic, loving relationships. And you'll hide that you have a dream of being in a relationship with people like that, and that you'll just stay in a relationship with them and keep indulging them out of your own fear and insecurity. And you'll do the relationship their way, where they get to be the star of the show, where they get to do pretty much whatever the hell they want. It's all about them. They want to win at all costs. It's not about you. They don't care if you have mental conflict. They don't care if they backstab and betray you. If you don't love and believe in yourself, to be bold and brave, to hold back from them and love yourself and invest in moving forward and speaking your truth and standing up for yourself, we have negative, shadowy people come into our life because we have lessons to learn about doing that within ourselves. And if we're not willing to do it, they're like, perfect. Let's stay in a relationship. Let's get married. This is great. You're my dream partner. You don't speak your truth. You don't listen to your intuition anymore. Perfect. I'm glad. It's just kind of like our shadow nature, our shadowy nature that is fearful and insecure and, wants to indulge in the world and doesn't want us to align with our more loving, hopeful, believing nature. There's people in the world that kind of represent our shadow nature out in the world. If this isn't just your ego trying to get you up in your head and instill fear and insecurity and hiding that they want you to be in your ego and not be in loving, meaningful relationships and not be bold and brave and confident enough to move forward in your life, that's your fearful shadow nature trying to run your life. And then there's people in the world who kind of represent that in the world, who want us to not do those things either, so that we keep indulging them in a relationship for their own selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, fearful, insecure reasons. And the whole reason we come into contact with people like that is to see if we are willing to, if we're going to quit putting in work and effort into our dreams. No, I've given up on my dreams. I'm not willing to hold myself or them accountable for their actions. I'm not willing to speak my truth. I'm not willing to hold back from those people. I'm going to stay in a relationship with them. And, the whole thing is we do until it becomes so backstabbing and betraying that, we can no longer hide from our intuition if we're lucky. And we realize, I can't keep doing this. I have got to let this foundation go. I can't keep being in denial of the truth. I need to hold myself accountable for my own well-being. This is not my truth. This is not the type of relationship I want to be in. I need to hold back from people who are emotionally immature. I need to hold people accountable for their emotionally immature, fearful, insecure ways of being in a relationship. I need to speak my truth. And I can wish them peace. I can love people and not be in a relationship. I can have love for people and never talk to them again. You know, we can, and people can shut people out. Yes, I have love for you. Stay out there. You know, why aren't people being loving and open and warm? Because they could get hurt doing that. And some people have so much mental conflict and fear of love that could be more and more of what gets them into being very egotistical and self-centered. Underlying all of that is I'm fearful of being hurt. I've been hurt before, and we can't make people get out of their hurt, and we got to get out of our thinking we can fix people. We can't fix people. We can offer people love and encouragement and support, but they have to do that work within themselves and win that spiritual warfare battle within themselves and free themselves from their more fearful, insecure, egoic, emotionally defensive nature and start putting in some work and effort to heal their foundation and love themselves. And until they do all that work within themselves, and that takes a lot of work, right? We've all had problems in life learning to love and believe in ourselves, and some people have never put in that work and effort. And there are several books and chapters behind on the game of life. But by you loving yourself, and it's like, I'm not going to keep enabling you, I'm not going to hide the truth. I'm going to illuminate the truth that you have a lot of fear or insecurity or you're selfish and greedy. We don't have to illuminate the truth to other people, but we can be illuminated to the truth. I'm not in denial of the truth. You are either very materialistic and ego driven, or you're very fearful and insecure, which makes you very self centered and defensive. And you are where you're at. I don't take it personally, you know? You have your own issues in life to deal with. I had my own issues to deal with in life. And I accept that you are where you are. And I'm not going to be in denial of the truth. And I can't keep moving forward with someone else who seems to want to not listen to their intuition and illuminate the truth about who they are, about their own fears and insecurities, about their own ego nature or whatever. You can keep living your life in denial if you want. I just won't be working together with you in a deep emotional relationship anymore. I won't be investing time and energy and effort into you anymore. I wish you peace. I hope it works out for you. But I need to be in a relationship with people who have done some of the same work that I've done within myself, who are kind of see some truths that I've seen in life, you know, who are willing to hold themselves accountable for their actions, who don't choose to try to manipulate and control and backstab me and instill fear and insecurity and codependency. That's not love. That's you acting out of fear and insecurity. Maybe because you didn't want people to see the truth and see through the illusion that you could be very self centered and egotistical, that you could just be all about yourself, or that you're very materialistically and ego driven. Well, I'm no longer an illusion about you. I've seen the truth. And I don't want to keep investing in someone who chooses to live their life that way and not put in work and effort to free themselves. I'm speaking my truth and I'm moving forward in my life and taking the lesson I've learned from this life experience to grow myself emotionally. So, what do high vibe Virgos have coming up for them in the future? And you and the people in your life and the people that you are in relationship with, they're all people who are in their more hopeful, believing nature. They know that if they want their dreams to come into reality with other people who hold themselves accountable for their actions, that they need to hold themselves accountable for their actions. That everybody needs to keep putting in work and effort to grow and mature themselves and hold back from their more immature nature if they want to work together with other people who are just and fair and balanced and loving, who don't indulge in their more immature nature. The Sun, the Eight of Wands, and the Knight of Cups because of the Justice card. You did the work and effort within yourself to love and believe in yourself, to get the justice you deserve, to feel balance within yourself, and having your desire to be in just and fair and balanced relationships with people. If people profess to be a certain way in the world, then they should be that way in the world. It's not just to wear this false mask and you're just supposed to hide the truth and keep enabling them in their illusions about who they are. You know, you can present yourself as a loving, kind, just, fair pillar of community if you want. I've seen the truth, and that's not who you are. And I want to be in relationships with people who really are loving and warm and open and honest and bold and brave. People who have loved their own foundation enough to offset their fearful, insecure nature to get themselves out of operating from their egoic nature, who are balanced within themselves, who know how to be loving and warm and balanced in relationships with other people, who aren't egotistical, self-centered, full of themselves, or have to be the center of attention, or have a lot of unresolved fear and insecurity that they don't deal with. And I am going to take swift action forward to look at life as an adventure to be lived. And I'm going to keep moving forward in the energy of hope and love to keep getting the justice I deserve in my life. I deserve to be balanced within myself. I deserve to invest emotionally in other people who treat me in a just, fair manner, not people who are trying to compete with me, not people who are trying to sabotage me, not people who are trying to manipulate and backstab and betray me. That's not love, and that's an injustice. And you're going to emotionally invest and communicate and move forward with other people who maintain their balance, who don't indulge in those negative ways of being. And you're going to have new beginnings where you will move forward with other people who look at life as an adventure to be lived, who have done the work within themselves to not be in their pride and ego and their fear and insecurity about the fact that they dealt with shadowy people in the world. Are we going to let shadowy people in the world keep us from believing in our dreams? You know, shadowy energy, hope so. They have fear and insecurity. They want you to be fearful and insecure too. They don't want you to have your dreams come into reality, because their dreams aren't going to come into reality unless they try to manipulate people and make people not love and believe in themselves. What an icky relationship to be in, knowing that because of your own fear and insecurity, you try to stop other people from loving and believing in themselves and making them fearful and insecure so they stay in a relationship with you out of fear and insecurity. You know? But some people do, as long as those people are willing to indulge them, to make them like the shining star in their life. And for some people, that's what it is. It's egotism. I want you not to listen to your intuition. I don't want you to believe in your dreams. I am supposed to be everything you need. I am like your God in your life. You look to me. You don't listen to your intuition. You don't listen to your own heart and intuition. I am supposed to be the center of your universe. It's supposed to be all about me. And then we're supposed to hide the fact that this person is prideful and egotistical, and we're just supposed to create this illusion that it's a wonderfully loving relationship. What do people in shadowy energy not see coming? And because you are living your life the way you are, there could have been some shadowy people that might have wanted to have a new beginning with you, but they see that you're balanced. When you're balanced and not making decisions in your life out of fear, insecurity, codependency, you've learned how to love and believe in yourself. Shadowy people can't play on your fear, your insecurity, your codependency, your more emotionally immature, impulsive, prideful, egotistical nature, because that's not how you live your life. And then it's like, oh, the prideful, egotistical people are going to have to go back to where they came from because you're balanced and they can't try to manipulate you. You're moving forward in love. And if they're not moving forward in love and balance, then they're not on the same page as you. What do the shadowy people have coming in their life? Well, some people who harness this energy in a high vibe way are going to leave their life. Yeah. The Page of Cups. The pure, innocent, loving people are not going to be in their life anymore because they're not willing. They reject that energy within themselves and they wear this false mask in the world. They present themselves as this loving family person who harnesses high vibe Cancer energy, that they're loving and all that, but they're not. Their inner child nature of hope and faith and belief and love is rejected. And they're going to keep wearing their social masks, thinking it should be all about them, that, they're the most important person in a relationship. And they're probably going to try to find someone else who maybe feels backstabbed and betrayed, who isn't listening to their intuition, who hasn't learned to love and believe in themselves. And they'll get in a relationship with that person, and the same situation will play out again. Or they might get in a relationship with someone who, if they rejected loving people, it doesn't mean they might not go prey on other loving people if those people don't know the truth about them, but the same situation will happen again. It'll end painfully because the other people listen to their intuition about this person being self-centered and prideful and egotistical and wanting to be in relationships with other people because it's good for their ego or their image or their status, or they have someone indulging them emotionally and looking up to them and admiring them or something, you know? Otherwise, they could end up getting in a relationship with someone like themselves who also wears a false mask, who also might look very successful and might want to win at all costs. And that person won't be willing to work with them either from a deep emotional foundation, but also people who don't want to change and grow and mature themselves. So they might stay in a relationship that is very difficult to be in because now we have two shadowy, self-centered, emotionally defensive, prideful, egotistical, don't like to give of themselves. But by worldly standards, it can look really successful and really great. And the whole thing is, because if this is what people thought they wanted and it was good enough for the loving people in their life, they thought those people should stay in a relationship with them for those reasons. Well, now they've manifested that. Now they've manifested finding someone else who might be just like them. Are they going to stay in a relationship like that? Is that good enough for them now? Some of those people might stay in it. If by worldly standards, with the star and the sun, it looks great by worldly standards, even though it's kind of a emotionally superficial and shallow relationship, some people, that's their dream relationship. Even though no one is offering love to the situation to grow and mature the relationship, as long as it looks good by worldly standards, good for their ego and their image, they might stay in it. And that might be the type of relationship that works for them. Because otherwise, they have to put in this work and effort to deal with all their fears and insecurities and their emotions. They don't want to do it. And if they can find someone who's on the same page as them, well, then it is a balanced relationship. They're both on the same page. But it's an injustice for someone who's loving and nurturing and isn't fearful and insecure and petty and jealous and envious to keep indulging them in their behavior. High vibe people who love and believe in themselves deserve to move forward to get the justice they deserve. And people who are prideful and egotistical and selfish and greedy should be in relationships with other people who also are motivated and inspired by that because they're on the same page, And maybe neither one of them want to do deep, meaningful relationships. Maybe they both like to reject love, live more from their mind, hide their authentic nature from the world, and just wear a false mask in the world that is love. If that's their comfort zone and that's how they want to live their life, perfect. It'd be better for them to be in a relationship with someone like themselves than creating an injustice, but it all serves a purpose because if loving people get in a relationship with them, loving people have learned some lessons in their life that this is not my truth. And I have to listen to my intuition and maybe trust my intuition more, that just because people can present themselves as being loving doesn't mean they are. So, and not get caught up in our ego and move forward with someone, and get caught up in the emotions and the illusion of it all. We need to take time to really get to know what people are hiding beneath the surface. So, there you go, Virgo energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.